first story tonight, Beige Capital, now Beige Bank, has revealed the 40 million Ghana cedi loan it sought from SNIT was not granted after a lengthy credit review process. Joy Business this morning reported the indigenous financial institution applied for the facility to meet its working capital and other commitments. According to minutes of the board meeting held on December 15 and 16, 2015, chaired by Professor Joshua Alabi, the firm was, however, to first meet certain conditions before the loan could be granted. But management says the funds were never disbursed. Details in this Business Desk report.
The management of Beige Capital, in a swift rejoinder to Joy Business, explained it is the Beige Group which applied for the facility and not Beige Capital, which is a subsidiary of the group. The minutes of a SNIT board meeting available to Joy Business, however, has as the title, quote, Beige Capital Loan Facility 40 million Ghana cedis, unquote. As part of a credit application process, the firm was required to present a collateral, which it did with two of its assets worth over 4 times the amount required. The request, managers say, was declined after a lengthy process of credit review. According to the statement, the facility was a medium-term debt intended to augment its working capital of a firm which is a growing concern. It added that SNIT has shares in some banks, but almost all the banks in the country have a relationship with SNIT, which allows them to accept placements or deposits, even though with only banks and not non-financial bank institutions. Fortunately, up until December 2016, Beige Capital was a non-bank financial institution, and it could not have applied for a facility because SNIT, in the first place, would not deal with a non-bank financial institution.
Now, the much talked about paperless system at the country's ports has finally kick-started today. This means, unlike before when exporters and importers process their documents manually, from today this is expected to be done largely through a computerized system.
Some stakeholders have, however, expressed misgivings about the system, citing teething problems in the pilot implementation. The Ghana Revenue Authority, however, says all is set for the rollout. The Ghana Shippers Authority, however, believes it will be a work in progress. The President, Benonita Bismarck, has been explaining to Joy Business.
We can never say we are already ready 100%. This is a new system. So we are satisfied with what is going on. There's some apprehension. With every change, there will be apprehension. We're trying to manage that. We are doing the sensitization and the education of all those who need to use the system. And that is the role of the Shippers Authority. We are educating our stakeholders to understand so that we can manage the anxieties. But whatever needs to be done by the various stakeholders, GPHA, GCNet, West Blue, Ghana Revenue Authority, I believe they are doing whatever needs to be done.
How about IT solutions provider at the port, GCNet? Here is Executive Chairman Dr. Norte Omabo.
That it works. And therefore, from a technology point of view, GCNet stands 100% ready.
Without the support of the other agencies?
We have a paperless clearance system. What is happening right now is to ensure that GAPOHA and all the other stakeholders fall in line so that it's not just technology, but then the administrative procedures ensure that we have paperless 100%.
For government, the implementation should ultimately boost revenue. Let's hear Deputy Finance Minister Kweku Kwating explain.
You're not in a position to put specific figures on it, except to say that by making port processes paperless, you are reducing human interfaces and reducing opportunities for irregularities at the port, while at the same time improving and easing the business environment. Ultimately, this would go push our industrial and business-oriented economic management strategy, and that is the drive. So it is not that we are going to realize an amount or a figure we can give right now, but we are clear and confident that by these you ease business, and it is these businesses that ultimately will contribute to domestic resource mobilization.
The paperless system is part of government's initiative towards repositioning Ghana as a trade and investment hub in the sub-region.
All right, so we'll still stay with the issues of the paperless port system. In studio with me right now is Kwabena Ofosu-Appiah. He's president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. Thanks very much for your time. We know that freight forwarders had issues with the implementation of this paperless system, and today it kickstarts. Are your issues resolved?
It makes me a bit uncomfortable if our issues that we've had with the port system is directly linked to the paperless process. You know, we have issues which paperless or paper are there, and if we are not careful in managing the issues that we have, that's what might, you know, either derail the paperless process or any other story.
Well, our understanding was that the paperless system has come to make things a bit easier for you. And so, you know, when you say there's still issues, can you explain further?
You see, the paperless is a process that picks from somewhere. And that's where the issues are. So, but then I can take comfort in the fact that ever since we started airing some of these issues in such manner, there has been a lot of resources that have been directed towards addressing some of those issues. Particularly one of them is issues at the Customs Technical Service Bureau. I mean, they were understaffed. The capacity there was not up to speed. So, and in time past, it was being looked at as though we could grind that thing normally. But we had to project the problem over there for everybody to see how necessary it was to look at it with some more urgency. Yeah. So paperless, we are for paperless. In fact, everything about paperless are things that we have suggested, by and large. Yeah. So
okay. I mean, we've seen it being piloted for a little over a week, I guess. Do you think that we are ready? I mean, today is the first day for it, and of course, there's not much activity at the port, so we can't really say whether it is really working. But do you think that we are ready for it? How do you think that the next few days is going to look like at the ports?
You see, the other day I was asked whether, I was asked a yes or no question, whether we are ready. And I said yes. And some of my folks did not take kindly to it because I said yes. Now, I think we'll have to look at degrees of readiness. As we speak, yesterday was one of the first and last days that we had an end-to-end display of what was going to happen from all the silos. So if I say there's a degree of readiness, that's what I mean. But to the truth be told, the processes that we are being opened up to now are not alien. We are not alien to these processes. These are processes that we have been going through already. What is happening now is that the various silos are being interconnected. So the heavy lifting is actually in the background, I mean, behind the scenes. We pray that those network connectivities, those ICT platform operators will get it right. Once they get it right, we are good to go. We are not going to have too much of a problem because we can readily identify some of the processes already.
Okay, and so for now, and like just as you mentioned in the morning to me, you're going to adopt a wait-and-see approach to see how all this rolls out in the next few days?
Wait and see will be a little bit too passive. We are going to pray and take the plunge with the vice president and make and hope that things will work out in the background. I mean, once the background situation, I'm talking about the ICT situations, is okay. We are good to go.
All right. Yes. We also understand that port officials have been engaging you. What has been your engagement with them finally?
In fact, when the vice president announced the policy, it took time for you to come up with the white paper, like the blueprint. And by that time, the ports authority, they have all that they needed to do was actually to automate their billing system. And that one, I don't think, demands too much of a shake-up. They did it. We are ever ready to use that system too, yeah.
All right.
The problem might be the integration, but we hope and pray that no hiccups.
All right. Thanks very much indeed for your time, Kwabena Ofosu-Appiah. He's president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. We want to move on now. And industries as well as companies operating at the export processing area at the Free Zones Enclave should enjoy cheaper cost of power by the end of the year. This is because the company that distributes power from the national grid to the enclave, Enclave Power, is set to inaugurate its first solar-powered station in the country for industrial use.
Industries have been lamenting the cost of power as a major challenge in the country. Enclave Power, however, says it is ready to offer cheaper power to companies in the Free Zones Enclave after negotiations with the producers. The chief executive of LMI Holdings, managers of the facility, Osei Bedu, interacted with Ebenezer Sabote during a visit to the company's premises.
Yes, we don't want to build any power plant like Asogli. We are actually at Yape as we speak with the Spanish, and we are putting up a solar power. We'll drop it on the national grid and bring it. Because why? Because the solar cells are getting much cheaper. We think we can do solar at 4 cents per kilowatt hour. If you look at the amount of they are paying now.
How much do you sell power to the industries per kilowatt? I mean, how many cents?
It is still under negotiation. Yeah? We were forced to buy power at a particular amount, which is unsustainable. So,
Mr. Bedu further stated, even though they are ready to offer power at cheaper rates to Free Zones firms, they will, however, still abide by the pricing regulation of the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission, PURC.
We don't produce any power. We don't produce any power. We buy and sell.
Okay, so you sell to them at cheaper rate or the same rate as the PURC?
We are governed by the PURC rates.
Okay.
We can determine our own rates. So.
Okay.
We don't. We can't determine we are governed by the PURC because we have the full license from Energy Commission.
Okay. Yeah. So for how many companies do you supply to in the enclave here?
If you count the number of companies here, getting to about 30 companies.
Okay, and you supply to all of them?
Yes, and not only do we supply our own clients, we also supply other industries within the area.
But they necessarily have to be in the enclave?
They don't.
All right, we are moving on to some other news this evening. President Akufo-Addo has acknowledged the contributions of the informal sector to the country's economic development. Speaking at the opening of the Africa Business Leadership and Kingdom Summit, the president said programs aimed at boosting the capacity of the sector are key since Ghana's economy is anchored on small and medium ventures, which constitute 92% of enterprises in the country. He adds his government will duly support programs targeted at the youth and equipping them in their entrepreneurial quest.
Statistics from the Registrar General's Department suggests 92% of companies registered are micro, small and medium enterprises. SMEs in Ghana have also been noted to provide about 85% of manufacturing employment and thus contribute about 70% to Ghana's GDP.
Micro, small and medium-scale enterprises contribute about 70% of Ghana's GDP and account for more than 92% of enterprises. These are the businesses of our farmers, traders, barbers, tailors, fitters, carpenters, plumbers, mechanics, dressmakers, electricians, and other businesses. They are the heartbeat of our economy and are at the core of Ghana's private sector. In every city, town, village, or hamlet in our nation, these enterprises support the livelihoods of our communities. At the national level, they contribute significantly to our gross domestic product and tax revenues and create jobs for thousands. Indeed, the country's survival is directly anchored on the success of small and medium-scale enterprises. It is obvious, therefore, that we have to focus on the development of startups and small businesses by encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit as a national priority. I am determined that we change the economic conditions in our country for the better.
President Akufo-Addo reiterates his government is committed to creating the conducive environment needed to promote businesses.
Small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, make up over 90% of businesses worldwide and account for the majority of private sector activity in both advanced and emerging market economies. Ours is predominantly an SME economy, and the economic growth and development of our country depend on how well we nurture and support startups and the micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises to enhance their contribution to GDP, job creation, and exports.
He adds, government is ready to throw its weight behind programs targeted at equipping the youth with the requisite skills to harness the entrepreneurial potential of the Ghanaian youth.
Now, the global hair industry is a whopping $500 billion, and African businesses are cashing in big with an estimated $6 billion coming from Africa. Joy Business explores how much Ghana makes from this chunk. Here's Kukwa Apia's report.
So unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, you would have noticed a large number of women rocking long, short and medium-length hair. Yes, I'm talking about the era of human hair, and Ghanaian women are representing in a big way. This week, Joy Business delves into the hair industry to find out how much Ghanaians are contributing to the $500 billion global economy of hair. Premium human hair is the newest trend in all things hair, and women are spending billions across the continent to have beautiful, flowing, long-lasting hair. According to estimates, Africa's dry market for weaves, wigs and hair extensions is currently worth over $6 billion a year and growing quite rapidly. But where does the hair come from? Well, it is real human hair that was shaved off somebody's head, mostly in countries like India and Peru. These hairs are shaved off the subjects and taken through a purifying and conditioning process and then sewn together in wefts for sale to international hair distributors from the Americas, Europe, Africa and other parts of Asia. The hairs can cost anywhere from $40 to $500 per bundle.
First of all, before you start this business, you have to look at the area in which you're going to do the business, and secondly, how active you are on social media before you go into this kind of business. We get new dealers, we get new people who wants to go into the hair business. Some people even start, they don't come, let's say, and buy in bulk. They'll just be at home, advertise it, and then when someone wants to buy from, they come and buy what the person wants and take it to them.
So how can one differentiate between quality human hairs and synthetic fiber? We'll find out. We're currently in East Legon at Duffy's Hair to speak to Mrs. Lydia Duffier-Dixon, a hair expert and a wholesaler and retailer, to find out what the business of hair entails in Ghana.
If it's really sheared, then that means it's not really good hair. But the most important thing is good hair can be dyed. With the virgin hairs are sourced from different, like 20 people. It comes together and they put it through a process. So it goes through a machine. So most of the times it depends on the grade you buy, but the virgin hairs can last you up to like 3-4 years. But with the raw hairs, it comes from one person, a single donor. So let's say this particular one came from just one person. So that makes it special, and this one has not gone through any processing.
Some consumers and retailers of premium human hair say that the hair must be expensive to be of high quality. But how true is that?
The shipping and the customs makes the hairs expensive. But by the grace of God, we find a way to get it here, and we're able to pay our charges, yes, and the hair gets here. But I personally do not believe in bigger profits margin, no. I sell one of the best hairs in this country, I can boldly say, especially the raw hairs, I can put my neck on it. You can do anything you want with these hairs, but I make them affordable so that every average Ghanaian lady will have the opportunity to also wear a good hair. So the amount of the hair does not determine the quality, it's wrong.
So on a continent where over 40% of the population lives below the poverty line, the business of beauty, especially hair products, is experiencing a significant boom. One would wonder how this is possible. Joy Business spoke to some consumers to find out how much they are willing to spend on their hair and why.
Approximately, as a student, I would say 200 cedis. 200 cedis at most. Then probably when fixing, I would add like 50 cedis. So in all, 250 or approximately 300 cedis.
Yes, everybody wants to wear quality hair, so I would have spent more money on my hair to look good. 300 cedis to 400.
1,500 would do. Because I won a lottery and I just want to spend on myself, so that'll be fine.
So I'm no hair expert, but it looks like the Ghanaian hair industry is definitely going to keep on growing. Reporting for Joy Business, this is Kukwa Apia.
Well, that was an interesting report from Kukwa Apia. Now, the importance of innovation in all sectors of the economy cannot be overemphasized, especially in the financial sector. The world has seen technological advances geared at making the banking experience faster and easier for customers and bankers. Speaking on Business Leadership Show, the Executive Lounge CEO of Universal Merchant Bank, John Ewa, said banks should be open to innovative ideas from all sources so far as it encourages better and faster service.
Sometimes we think we are the smartest people in the room, but maybe the smartest person is the one at the gate. When the people, if you really want the best of ideas, don't be glued to the executive table. You have to be interactive in the lifts, at the canteen, in the banking halls. That is where you get the best of ideas. To be honest, the people at the executive table, they come with their minds fixed on things they want to say. We are so glued to what we are doing that we are not flexible in our thinking. But the people who are so flexible in their thinking are the shop floor people. The people, if you are not a good person, a good leader, you are likely to neglect in terms of who to talk to for the next idea. Okay. That's when you meet people in the lifts and you engage them, that's 30, 45 seconds, sometimes the things they tell you are life-changing things for them.
All right, so we are moving on straight to our interview of the day, and renowned playwright James Ebo-White has reiterated the call for more investments into the theatre arts industry as part of efforts to grow the economy. According to the CEO of Riverman Productions, it has become more crucial to harness the sector's potential to contribute to the country's economic growth. He spoke to Joy Business after the premiering of Riverman Productions' latest play, Comeback, which he describes as the most expensive so far because of the use of LED TV, an innovation in theatre.
Interview of the day is brought to you by
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
It could be better. The problem I find is that we've not quite realized the value of it, and because we haven't, it hasn't even occurred to us that this could hold the key to economic recovery and economic progress. As I said at another forum earlier, we're bringing these investors in, and we're not engaging them. We engage them at the corporate level, at the business level, but these are human beings. These are not just business machines. He wants to de-stress. He wants to have fun. Then you go and drop him in his hotel at 6 p.m. to pick him back the next day. Trust me, next time he's coming to Ghana, he will not be too willing to come to Ghana. And yet, if every evening he had been taken to a new show, a show that he loved and rested, you can be sure that the next time he's coming to Ghana, he will come with his family. This time, he would factor in his holiday as well, because he's enjoying here. Because we're not doing that, they come, do business, they go. Forget us. And then whenever business goes down, then they stop coming, because there isn't anything to pull us here. We've got to understand that this is something that can bring foreign exchange, there's something that can promote business. And so let's take it seriously.
Interview of the day.
So you can keep yourself updated on all our business stories on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. You can follow our Espresso series, Just Pondinine attempting to buy out Espresso. You can read the full story. And of course, this weekend, Executive Lounge at 6 p.m. on Saturday, 8 p.m. on Sunday. My name is Darryl Kwao. We're back next week.